Today I'm talking about cornbread, and not just any cornbread, but a spicy honey jalapeno cornbread. This describes a recipe that I'm sharing with you today, so let's dive in. If we haven't met before, my name is Marletta, and on this channel we celebrate everything delicious with a spicy twist. Cornbread is perfect as a side dish, a snack, or even all by itself. And I love cornbread, but I've found that it's really challenging to find a recipe that caters to those of us, like myself, who like a little bit of heat without the cornbread being dry. So let's get started. Now, the first thing I've done is I preheated my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And today I'm cooking the cornbread in a 9-inch cast iron skillet, which I've already buttered. Now, if you don't have a cast iron skillet, use a 9x9 oven-safe dish, and that'll be just fine. I like the cast iron skillet because it gives the cornbread just kind of a nice crispy crunch. So here's what you're going to need for this recipe. For the dry ingredients, you're going to need 120 grams of all-purpose flour. And when it comes to flour, and also cornmeal in this case, I think it's best to measure out your ingredients. So 1 cup of flour is 120 grams, and I'm just about there. Make sure you zero out your scale before you start measuring in your ingredients. The reason this is important that this be measured, weighed out this way, is because depending upon how you scoop your flour into your measuring cup, you could get anywhere from 90 grams of flour to 140 grams of flour, and that will certainly affect your recipe. Now, this also needs to be sifted, so I'm just going to pour this in here. I got this sifter a long time ago. It's battery operated, and it just works really well. Just push the button. And voila, it's sifted. Now you're also going to need 156 grams of yellow cornmeal. And that equates to about a cup. But again, this is one of those things that you want to use a food scale to measure out. Perfect. And we will also sift that. I got the sifter when I was doing a lot of cake decorating and making a lot of cookies and stuff like that, and it really saved wear and tear on the arms. We've got all our dry ingredients in there, and then we add 1/4 cup of sugar. Then you want 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Make sure it's baking powder and not baking soda. I have made that mistake before, and it's not one you want to make. And then we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we'll just give all of this a real quick stir. Set that aside. Then for our wet ingredients, we're going to add 2 eggs. I'm going to beat these. Then you're going to add 1 cup of heavy cream. Then 1/4 cup of vegetable oil and 1/4 cup of honey. And then also to this, we're going to add some diced jalapenos. Now, when you cut your jalapenos, before you dice them, just slice up a few, because we're going to put those on top of the cornbread when this is all ready to go in, when we put this in the pan. Now, some people I've heard add shredded cheese to their cornbread. I've never done that. Is that something that you do? If so, let me know in the comments. Now, as you can tell, the key ingredients for this cornbread are the heavy cream, the honey, and of course the jalapenos. Now, what we're going to do next is we are going to slowly add the wet ingredients to our dry ingredients. Get all that scrumptiousness out of there, particularly the honey. And then just gently stir this. Now, this is something you do not want to overmix. You just want to mix this until your wet ingredients are combined with the dry. And I'll show you here in just a minute what it should look like. Oh man, this looks so good. Okay, this is what it's going to look like. It's just going to be just barely mixed up. There's no dry ingredients remaining. Get my pan. I've got this already buttered. My oven is preheated. I'm just going to pour this into the pan. My stomach's growling. I can hardly wait for this to come out of the oven. Now remember those sliced jalapenos? This is what we're going to do with them. We're just going to dot the top of this. Kind of push those in a little bit. Oh, this looks so good. These jalapenos they just make a nice little presentation for your cornbread when it comes out of the oven. Now I'm going to pop this in the oven, and it's going to bake for 20 to 25 minutes until a toothpick in the center comes out clean. Now when it comes out of the oven, just let it sit aside for, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes to slightly cool. You don't want to cut into it right away. It's going to smell really great, and you're going to be super tempted, but just leave it alone. And I'll set the timer, and I'll be back with you in a few. Well, the cornbread is out of the oven, and oh my gosh, does it ever smell good. And it's just so beautiful. The jalapenos, the top of the cornbread is just nice and golden brown. And this recipe is just guaranteed to impress your friends and family. It's great all by itself. It's great with chili, soup. I like it as a snack. I've placed a link to the recipe in the description below, as well as some of the items that I've used in this video. So I guess now all that's left to do is just the taste test. Oh my gosh. That is so good. It's moist. You can taste the honey, a little bit of a tang from the jalapeno. It's not hot at all, not from the jalapenos. It is really, really good. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And I hope you hit the subscribe button to get more spicy recipes. And until next time, bye-bye.